love. Welcome home to Eden, where we are responding to the climate, the needs of the earth, and we are going, oh, I got it. You want us to do this and not that. So, zero climate emissions. Zero emissions is this. Here's the tiny house I'm in. I just manifested this. I was like, I don't have money, but I do have a mind that can be creative. I'm looking online for a trailer that somebody wants to get rid of. Sure enough, this one showed up because of the horrible situation with that ceiling, which we're already in the process of fixing. See these beautiful boards? Yeah, it'll be okay. Um, and it was a big leak in the roof, as you know, and I covered it with plastic, 2 layers, and then a big tarp, taped it down with this amazing tape that's similar to duct tape, but it even tapes in wet surfaces, and it seals. Bam! So it's all sealed up. Here's a little tour. We're going into the bedroom here. I love it. Like, it's just such a sacred, like, little space, It's just beautiful and homey. And it's going to be warm once I figure out how to get the heat running. So, here's this little bathroom thing, but, like, I'm not using it as a bathroom. I'm not actually like, people are like, well, I made it into a really nice little closet, actually, like a dressing room. And so what am I doing for the bathroom thing? Well, see that pretty bright pink bag? That's got my pee bucket in it. So I disguise it when I carry it. And, soon it'll have running water and cooking stuff, and this fridge will work. But I'm located at my mom's, so I can cook for her, and it'll be a way to be supportive of her, hopefully along the way. And, it's exciting. I realize when I'm here how little I really need, but how the basics are just the basics. Like, everybody needs their little eating area, their little, dining spot. Everybody needs their living room, their couch, everybody needs that. Everybody needs their space to do yoga and dance. Can you see that? Yeah. And so everybody needs their big queen bed for cuddling up with your sweetheart. And everybody needs some view of the mountains and the sunrise. So there you go. Keep it simple. Get what you need going, and yeah, I looked online. It cost me $350, and then I had to pay a guy $275 to haul it, because I was scared to haul it myself. And now it's cost so far $100 to pull down all those boards, and it's going to cost another. I think the supplies were about $100 for this wood. Not much when you think of setting up a house, There's a lot of these trailers, though. They're online, and they're a little pricey. They're like, well, not for a house. They're like $12,000. I saw ones, $18,000, ones that are actually in really good shape and that are running fine. Even one I saw for $5,000, really good shape. So I could have gone that route, but I just wanted to see what I could do with nothing first. With what I had at the moment, it was nothing, almost nothing. Just so use your mind, okay? Wherever you're at, with what you want, get it. Somebody will be inspired by you. If your dream is beautiful enough and special enough and real enough and humble enough, people will be inspired to help you. So you'll get the help. This was my solar money that and my mother's patience with helping me as well get all this together here. So family may help you, family may not. Family may be the last people who will help you. But you can say to somebody, I can do your garden for you. I can do snow shoveling for you. In exchange for having my tiny house on your property, I'll be like a caretaker. or I will make the garden that you don't have and share the food that I grow, or you can offer like a little bit of rent, but not too much, because the whole idea of the tiny house is that you are no longer buried under the rental crisis. Really, it's a crisis because it's changed the new generation's options. Like it used to be. I remember when we had a house in California and it was $150 a month for a whole house. We rented a little chalet up in Big Sur for vacation for $100 a month. My first apartment was $80 a month in Amherst. Yeah, this just like, and wages were, I was making 15 an hour then. Most of my kid friends I know here, they're making 10 an hour. And their rent is, if they're lucky for a room, it's 5 to 700 for a room, just for a room. And they're the same wages. So you imagine the options that we had when our rent was like that and the wages were $10 to $15 an hour. That's a whole different story. And so what happened when everybody started charging these rental amounts? I guess they couldn't figure out a way to survive, or they wanted to live off others. That's that whole capitalistic idea of I'm going to make it by off of somebody else's back. Well, there's some validity in elders needing to do that when there's nothing set up for the elders. There's no community for the elders. There's no one really taking care of them. They're lucky if their kids even care. Then, of course, they're going to charge rent to all the young people so that they can survive. So we have to have that whole picture going on as we create the new Green Deal, the inclusivity of all the ages and the races and the sexes, but mainly women. Women are stepping forward, and you are that goddess. You are that, and men are starting to find their feminine heart, and you are that portal for that sacred love to just flow through you. You are the magic, beaming essence of that place that the universe has come. The universe has come through you because the universe loves being you. And that's another video I'm about to make, why the universe loves to be you. Okay, much love, darling. Figure out and look, if there's something horrible like that ceiling, don't give up. That's your opportunity. Where it's broken is where spirit enters. Yeah, that made this possible for me. And now I'm fixing it within a couple days, weeks. It's going to be done. Totally done. Yeah, we're going to hook in some beams in there to the mush pile of the ceiling. I know I told you about that. Well, I'm getting creative about it. Put some beams across that give some strength. Tie them in to other places that do have strength. I've got it's already, covered. There's no rain coming in. So let the thing be imperfect when it comes to you. Let the relationship be imperfect that you've been dreaming of, because where it's broken is the place that spirit enters and that allows it to happen. Okay, that's all of our work here on the planet. It's a broken humanity at the moment. We got to fix us. Okay, love you so much. Subscribe to this channel. All right, this is Eve's Eden Divine Feminine channel. Okay. Hello, love. Welcome home to Eden. All right, so let's start talking about you as a community leader, okay? And the 7 things that you can do that will galvanize community all around you. All right. Now, these things, I'll explain them to you briefly. And then what I want you to do is to think about if you would like to be trained personally in this whole project, because some sisters and I will come to train women, basically. Your brothers can be there too, but we're coming to train women, and that will make it safe for us to travel. And you're going to host us when we come if you want. But if you don't have a way to host us, you can learn right now from this video and from others that I post. 7 ways to be a community leader of the new Green Deal. Okay, number 1 is people love to eat food. You can't really lead a movement If you are going to just talk at people, and well, I mean, you can. It's just a little bit dry, and just organizing those the civil disobedience that we need to do for climate emergency and joining Extinction Rebellion. You can do that talking. That's okay, but people love to eat food. So the very first thing to do as a community organizer is to start doing a weekly potluck. Yes, every week. So this just means having one location that somebody in your group is willing to make their home the place where people come and hang out. So this is about building community, right? Where anything comes up, people can just hang with who they are and how they are. Now, when people come to your potluck, how you do your potluck is very important because you need to welcome people. You need to welcome them and check in with them and facilitate conversations going, well, how are you doing? And how's that going? And checking in with each person who's there in a way that the group hears it. And so that it's the norm that you're checking in, but in a relaxed way so nobody feels interrogated. Okay? It's a hangout. It's really great food because everybody's bringing some of it. Now, you as the host, you can go one of two ways. You can just be like, well, I don't have the time or money for making food, so I'm going to tell people they've got to bring stuff. But that won't work so well. When I do a potluck is I always make some main dish so that in case nobody else brings good food, everybody's still fed. But I'll do something that is affordable to me, like a big chicken soup and some really good salad. Or a big pot of like wholesome spaghetti with like tempeh and tofu. Remember, we're going off beef now. And we're switching over to vegan cheese or cheese only from France, from happy cows. So also making your potluck a smorgasbord of New Green Deal food so that people are learning about that. So going green, organic, no beef. All right, and no dairy. So second thing you can do to become a powerful community leader that everybody loves to come to your events, you can have a dinner club. We're still on the food section. A dinner club is where you organize about 20 different families, and each one of them takes a turn once a week. So say the potluck happens on Mondays, and on Thursdays is the dinner club. There's 20 families involved. So the first person hosts a dinner for everybody who comes without anybody having to bring food. It's completely hosted. It's a delectable, they go all out. They make an amazing meal for the full group of 20 people. But we know that 20 people are not going to show. And so the rule about the dinner club is that you let the host know if you're coming. It's usually about 10 out of 20 will show up. So, but you got to be prepared to host the full 20 if the full 20 all responded. But that's your one time. Now there's going to be 19 other people after you've hosted that one dinner who are each going to host a dinner on Thursday. So you've got 19 Thursdays to go before it's your turn again. And that will be a wonderful meal completely hosted that you get to go to. And now if you have a family, especially for young families who are, really love to be connected with community and other kids, wow. This was the greatest thing. Now, I'm not saying these things out of nowhere. I was part of a community in California that did all of the things that I'm mentioning to you. Yeah, I have a big shout out to Michael of Ecotopia, who hosted the weekly potluck. And there was maybe 15 other incredible community leaders who made this whole thing happen. Because after a while, everybody started to work together on this whole They were the forerunners of the New Green Deal. And you want to be inclusive to people who don't usually get to be part of your circle. People who are elders, people who are alone, people who are poor, people who are of a different background than you, a different spiritual belief. Invite them. Get it to be an experience of that kind of ecotopia that we all are needing to create. Number 3 thing that you can do to be a powerful community organizer. Okay, people love to dance. They love to dance. But there's these problems with dancing that come with where it's like the feeling like, oh, you have to be young, or you have to be a drinker, you have to get somewhere. If you don't have a car, you've got to spend money, it's out too late. So if you are a host of a clean, ecstatic dance that happens in somebody's home rather than a public place. If it's in somebody's home, it has a completely different feeling, although it doesn't have to be in a home. It can be in a public space. If you do things like hang drapes and Christmas lights and things to make it feel more protected and magical, So you're going to host a ecstatic dance. Now, ecstatic dances can be very simple in that you just play amazing music. Usually it's great to play music from all around the world, all different genres, so you're touching everybody of every age on some level, and it's got and danceable music, right? Upbeat, danceable, with some mystical, moody stuff there too. Now, an ecstatic dance can be a lonely experience, just like other dances. And your point is that you are a community organizer. You're bringing people together to have the things that they need, right? Food and socializing. So if people go to a dance and they feel more lonely than ever, which is usually what happens to me in the dances here, because everybody's in their little private bubble of their creative dancing and they don't get to dance with anybody, it's pretty lonely. So what helps to create an ecstatic dance that really, really connects people is, well, let's see. I really love, for one thing, you could get trained by Gabriel Roth in the 5 Rhythms dance that she created. But if you just keep it simple, like I'm doing my makeup here. If you keep it simple and you... what I did was I would call out, or I would have a big sheet of paper for every every song that I played saying, eye contact, or fingertip touch, or copycat, or chase the tail, or flocks of birds, ocean waves, something. And I introduced before the dance that the idea is that the dance is a game. How many ways can you connect with others using the prompt for each dance? Now, when I did this, I also combined it with Gabriel Roth's 5 Rhythms for the music, so that the music takes the people on an arc, right? This arc of the 5 Rhythms, I believe it starts lyrical and it goes to, which is sort of really, starts flowing, really flowing. Then it gets to staccato, which is more bump and grind. Then it gets to chaos, which is really wild and intense. Then it goes to lyrical, which is flying and emotional. And then it goes to silence, which is deep, quiet movement. So you line up the music for about 5 songs for each of those rhythms. And what happens is the music itself takes the whole group on a journey where they're on an arc that goes way up ecstatically and comes all the way down. And it even rides with the emotions. You could line up emotions with those 5 rhythms, because the chaos one often goes very well with anger, the release of anger. And but it doesn't matter to what music you play is going to be supported by your community, okay? Because you can very quickly start asking community members to be the ones to create the set list and bring it in, right? And this is a lot to do, right? If you're an organizer and you do all of this, man, you're providing a lot. So you want to engage people. You want to give people jobs. Like I know a lady who started a church in this neighborhood that was one of the most successful churches, and it folded when she left it. She thought she was leaving it in the hands of a good pastor. It didn't matter what pastor it was, and it wasn't her. What did she do that made it so successful? And she had 17 jobs that she handed out for that one little church event. the flower bringer, the door opener, the one who stands and hands the programs, the greeter, the one who said the prayer at the beginning, the one who said the prayer at the end, the on and on, the one who shoveled people's cars and helped the old people to the. She gave all these jobs out and it got everybody involved. So you want to give out jobs that help this whole dance thing happen, okay? And it is so fun. So one of the main rules about the dance that will help it also be very successful is that there is no talking in the dance space. The dance space is purely for dance, but on the periphery, just outside the door, there is a cozy space made available for people to talk and hang out. Okay, so that it is a social scene, and it is also a sacred place where people can connect from that other level of themselves besides just the mind and words. Now, this brings out a huge emotional catharsis for the group, and they go through the whole thing together. Okay, that was number 3. Number 4 thing you can do as a community leader that will change the lives of all the people around you and benefit many people. When you do any event, a potluck, a dinner party, or a dance, any one of them, at least once a week, you can have a community check-in. And that is just that when people, they each say something at the end of your dance, for example, and you keep it present time, keep it very short and specific. You're going to make it clear to people they've only each got 3 minutes, okay, or less. But what they can say is what they experienced that night, what they got, and what they need or what they have to offer. So if they need a car, or they need a place to live, or they are really needing a job, they need help with childcare, they can just say it. Or if they're selling something, some new product they're making, or they're doing a new career, they're offering massages. So each person goes around with a little barn raising check-in. Now, no one is responsible for anything anybody has said. No one has to respond. But what naturally happens is if you leave 15 minutes during cleanup, where you ask the whole group to clean up the space after the dance or the dinner, in that time, people will go to each other and they will start saying things like, hey, my uncle's got an old car. All it needs is a brake job, you got any friends who knows how to fix brakes? Because he's giving it away, The group will start to help each other naturally, all right? Because really, always, everything everyone needs exists within the group. And people of ancient times knew this, but we've lost touch because we're so embarrassed to ask. We have no places where we're allowed to be vulnerable without being shamed for not having things together. So in the group that I was part of in California, when they did that check-in after the dances, oh my gosh, we danced like crazy. For one thing, the dances got wilder and wilder. They started to be like everybody was in costume and playing characters as they danced because they couldn't talk, so they got really good at being very expressive. And they I'm sorry, it was really fun. But the barn raising afterwards, that I should call it Wishcraft Circle. Let's call it Wishcraft Circle. It's not the barn raising. In the Wishcraft Circle, when I went to Mexico and I got into the hospital situation where I was giving birth too early to my daughter, I was in a situation where I used up all the money we had, everything we had for a car, everything to get home. Everything was gone for the hospital, and then we ran out of money, and we still needed every day more and more days to be in the hospital. That group, the dance group, the Wishcraft Circle, found that out, and they just started putting money in our account. They did. We had been part of the group for maybe 7 years, and I don't know how the people did it, but everybody kept just doing it. Somebody brought our bank account number to the group and told everybody what was going on. People